Welcome to Reggae Chat, viewNowTV.com. And we have many artists on stage, but we don't have royalty on stage here tonight. But we have the First Lady of reggae music, as I call her, celebrating 55 years in the business. Can only be one person, the lovely and gorgeous Marcia Griffiths. Welcome to View Now TV and Reggae Chat, First Lady.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a wonderful feeling being here.
It's always a pleasure when we meet up with Marcia, because it's a history that has started so many years ago.
The problem is that we'd never have enough time.
I think we'd actually need a week or more to cover the Marcia Griffiths story. But, we're going to make a little attempt tonight. First time on my TV show and that. So, let's just go back to those early years of Marcia, that little girl growing up in Kingston, Jamaica, and heading for the studios.
Just reminiscing yesterday, myself and Kingston were just talking about the days that we have seen it all. My generation, we have seen it all. There's no way this generation can ever imagine the experience that we have had. It was beautiful. Getting up, going to Studio One is like a 9-to-5 job. You're clocking. You're going early. You're looking forward to the whole day because you're going in the music, in the heart of the music and the icons and the legends that I have been hearing about from a little girl. And I look forward to just taking the bus from where I live and going to Brentford Road every single day. I met Sister Rita, Bob, the whole host of icons, Ken Boo, Delroy. Bonnie was the only person I knew then because we go way back. But going to Studio One every day, we go in the studio like it's a job. And if Ken Boo is singing, we are harmonizing. And if I'm singing, Ken is harmonizing. It's just yesterday we were talking that Ken sang harmony on Feel Like Jumping. Yes.
What was your first hit at Studio One? Was Feel Like Jumping?
Feel Like Jumping, 1967.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But when I went there first in 64, Mr. Dodd did everything to find a hit song for me. And what he actually did was having me doing duets with every male artist, just seeking for a hit song. Bob Marley, Bob Andy, Tony Gregory, Free Eye, every single soul. But it was never happened until 67 with Feel Like Jumping. Bob Andy and Jackie Me Too.
And it was specifically written for you, or you heard it and you just thought...
No. It was specifically written for me. The rhythm came first, and because Jackie is the one in the background saying, "Day, feel like jumping, day." But it's between the two people, Bob and Jackie.
And when it hit, what was the feeling like? Here we have this young girl, Studio One, 3 years down the road, and you've got a major hit on your hand. What was it like?
It was a wonderful feeling because In those days, we're not thinking about money or looking for no pay. Everyone is just there with a story to tell, and it's through the music that we want to express it. So that's the reason why I usually say those songs will forever be golden longevity songs, because the ingredients that went into those songs, sufferation, innocence, purity, love, honesty, name it. It was just all good ingredients. We just wanted to express ourselves in the music. No one thought about any money at the time, you know.
Mm-hmm. What was it like working with Cox and Dodd?
Wow.
We heard so many stories.
So many stories, and everybody, most people come and they knock that man and they thought the worst things. I can only exalt him and say, thank God he gave me the opportunity. I would not have been sitting here with you today had it not been for Mr. Dodd. He gave me that opportunity to go in as a young little girl, to express myself, to sing. And I had no vision that I would end up, you know, this is my career. Because my father was totally against me being a singer.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what did your parents think?
Well, of course, he was everywhere I went. Because I'm underage. I'm just 12 years old. And, you know, being up and down, he would have to be wherever I am. So he didn't endorse me at all being a singer. So I am thankful to Mr. Dodd.
And what about your mum? Was your mum up for it?
Poor thing. She was, anything we did to her, she was just one quiet, innocent person. Never said a thing. She just meant well for everyone, you know, but she never opposed anything on anyone.
Oh, that's where I know you get the calmness from your mum.
Yes, it's true.
So, you know, you've had Feel Like Jumping. What was the next move? Did an album come from that, or there's a few more songs?
Never. It was always just singles. Bob Andy was my writer then. He wrote all the songs I did at Studio One. Melody Life, Truly, Mark My Word, Tell Me Now, Feel Like Jumping, all those songs. So it was just single after single. And I had this song with Free words. But we never had an album. It was not until I left Studio One that Mr. Dodd actually put an album together.
Compiled it.
Yes.
Compiled it, really,
yes.
You know? So on leaving Studio One, what was your next port of call?
Harry J.
Whoa.
I remember when Harry J used to pass by Studio One. Oh my goodness. And Mr. Dodd look and see him. He would just chase him away. Because he saw us talking to him and he knows that he has an intention to
teeth you away.
Yes. So we went to Harry J and Magic. You know, it's just yesterday again. We were talking about Harry J, Winston Francis and myself, how lucky Harry was. He was blessed because everything he touched turned gold. Because we went in innocently and did a cover version of Nina Simone's Young, Gifted and Black.
Young, gifted and black. Oh, what a lovely, precious dream. To be young, gifted and black. Open your heart to what I mean. The whole world, you know, there's a million boys and girls who are young, gifted and black. And that's so sad.
And to my surprise, number 2 on the British charts. Before I knew it, we were coming to London to do Top of the Pops. And the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one of the great pictures is of you and Bob performing on Top of the Pops, Afro, flares, and the young Marcia with the Afro there looking very elegant.
What was shocking, you know, it was, this song is portraying black awareness and black consciousness, but when we came to London, our biggest audience and fans were skinheads, the white skinheads, you know, so it was just strange.
Because it was a very political time those times as well,
Yes,
isn't it, you know?
yes,
so
yes.
Young, Gifted and Black kind of just dropped in straight away, straight there.
Yeah, for real.
And when you came, that was your first out into London, obviously.
Well, of course, I went to Germany before in Munich, and it was my return going back to Munich to complete an album with Mr. Huber, I was just signed to, that we got the news that the song was number 2 on the British charts. So I totally forget everything about this agreement and what the commitment I had, and just came straight to London with Bob.
So, did you record songs for Mr. Huber? I'd never heard his name before. What can you
Yeah,
say?
he was this man who came to Jamaica and heard us performing Fab Five and myself at Sombrero Club, and he just fell in love with the music, myself and the group. So he took us across to Germany, and we performed at a couple of clubs. Went to Berlin. He flew us to Berlin, and I recorded 2 songs in German language with a 30-piece orchestra.
Wow. Did those songs ever see the light of day?
Yeah, well, they were Philips Record released those 2 singles,
Right.
but don't ask me about that language. It was the toughest thing and the hardest. I've never seen, I was just next door learning, trying to pronounce with this throat thing, and then going back in the studio to sing these words I've never heard in my life, to pronounce a different language. And I am a Jamaican, we barely speaking English, much less German. So you can imagine the task it was for me singing 2 songs in German language. But thank God that experience was beautiful.
And the whole sort of surrounding the media and everything, when you came to London, there was a lot of excitement with Young, Gifted and Black.
Yes, wow, I was totally knocked out because I didn't know so much things was going on, because Tony Blackburn was the person hosting that show, Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
So to my surprise, after Top of the Pops, we were immediately booked to go to places like Manchester, Sheffield, Birmingham, all over UK. So I'm saying this song has been doing extremely well before I even found out what was happening. So it was like an extensive tour all over the UK. We went to Amsterdam as well. And everything just happened so fast. Very fast.
So when you got back to Jamaica, what was it like? Here we got Feel Like Jumping, then all of a sudden Marcia Griffiths and Bob Andy's taken off to London. They're all over Europe. And amongst the first, I have to have a big chart hit.
Yes.
And you returned back to Jamaica. What was it like?
Well, we went back there with a whole lot in our hands, because having had this hit now, everybody wants us to be here, there, and everywhere. So we were there as well. The song became a big hit in Jamaica as well. Besides, the only follow-up song as a duet from Bob and myself was a song that Mr. Dodd owned, called Really Together,
Okay.
Bob and Marcia.
Yeah.
So immediately he released that song as a follow-up, because nobody else had a duet
Okay.
with us, So we were everything was just going so fast, and a whole lot of work all over the place. And
was it a bit daunting? Was it daunting for you?
Yes.
As a young girl, was it a bit too much?
Well, I had a guardian traveling with me,
Oh,
David Banks.
okay.
So what happened now, they sent back, Lee Gopthal from Trojan Records sent back for us. We came back into England, and he gave us a place to live in Lewisham. And that's where we started recording the complete album. And they added the strings to Young, Gifted and Black, which gave it, that was like the
Different.
icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Really beautiful. Then after completing that album, Young, Gifted and Black, the following year, I think we lived there for almost 2 years. And then we ended up doing another album.
Always contemplating what to do, just in case you're wondering
Pied Piper. Well, Pied Piper was quite a big
Quite
song
a big
too.
song, yeah. Follow me on the pine.
Yeah.
After that, what took place after that? That whole experience, because you know we had the Lloyd Chalmers era, we had the Sonia Pottinger era.
Well, after that, I think it was between Miss Pottinger and Lloyd Chalmers. And, you know, a lot of people don't know this story. I don't even know if Ken Booth himself knows that the song that his big hit song, Everything I Owned, was a song that I chose from an album that Lloyd Chalmers gave me to learn a track. But the track never appealed to me, the track he gave me. But I was just curious about this female singer and decided that I'd just play the album, the entire album, and I heard the song Everything I Own. And I just loved the song, and I kept playing it over and over. And I called Chalmers right away and I said, Chalmers, come up here, because he was living close. And I played it for him and I said, this is the song I love on the album, not the one you give me to learn. We went in and we laid the rhythm, same rhythm that Ken is on. We laid that rhythm, and I don't know if it's the devil or what, but I can't say it's the devil. We blame everything on the devil. But for some unknown reason, some misunderstanding with Bob Andy and himself, and it was one talk. Yes, Ray. And I ended up not going in the studio to voice a song. And he loved that rhythm because he recorded that rhythm. And one thing I can tell you about Lloyd Chalmers, he's one of the best producers I know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
All his rhythm is just danceable. You feel it, and I can't find the adjectives to describe when he produces. And he himself loved that rhythm that was laid. So he gave Ken, of course, gave him the album, asked him to learn the song. Ken went in and voiced the song.
And the rest is history.
I'm telling you.
But you know, Lloyd Chalmers.
There's no house without a home, and there's no man who wants to be alone. There's no child without a dream, and there's no song without a meaning. That's how I know.
That album that you done for him, Sweet Bitter Love.
Yeah.
Where would you rank that album in the whole Marcia Griffiths catalogue? I mean, it's a catalogue that is just immense. But that album, from the front cover, you know, the picture of you in the sea there with the afro and the yellow vest, from the front cover right the way through Sweet Bitter Love and all those songs on that album, where would you rank that album?
Well, that album is that's a household album.
Yeah, I think everybody from that era has got that album.
Everybody. And it's funny, you know, that song, Sweet Bitter Love, it was one of my favorite songs. But for some reason, I love the way Chalmers laid the rhythm, but I didn't like the way I voiced the song. So I never like it.
Really?
And maybe it's songs that I don't like always surprise me.
Yeah.
So that is one of the songs I never really take on to. But I love the song itself. And I know I couldn't better that song. It's one of my favorite songs from Aretha Franklin.
Well, the first time comes close. I mean, I'm sure if I had that album here with me now, we went through that album.
That was a really, really nice album that everybody loves. And as I say, it's a household item, and also naturally from Miss Pottinger.
Well, we're going to come on to that because, you know, I remember when that album came out, we was working in Hawkeye Records in Harleston. And those days there, when artists like yourself released albums, it was like akin to a kind of Michael Jackson in the reggae world. Marcia Griffiths is coming out with a brand new album, and we had heard about this album because Sonia Pottinger.
Only female producer. Yeah.
Is that so? I can't remember it. I don't even know if we got female producers today of that ilk.
No, I have never seen another one.
Mm-hmm. So we got Marcia Griffiths, top lady, Sonia Pottinger, up and coming producer. Naturally. How did that album come about? I mean, how did you manage to link up with Sonia Pottinger?
I am not so sure who introduced me to her, but from the moment I met her, it was myself and Judy, Judy Mowat.
Right, yeah.
From the moment I met her, she was just so good on her speech, and she just captured my heart. And as a woman, I think she understands, another woman's feeling and the abuse in the male-dominated world of this music. So I just found comfort with her, and I could relate to her as another woman, and I saw her as a mother, as a sister, as a friend. And I would go to her with every problem when I couldn't go to another producer. So I was very comfortable working with her.
Why didn't it continue, Mars?
Well, it did not continue for many reasons. I was always traveling. And I remember one particular time she called me and said she had something for me. And I went down to see her. But I was just there recording, from the day I started singing. And of course, I tell her that it's something that I just started loving, not thinking about any money. But then at the end of the day, survival is the name of the game.
One of your favourite songs.
Yeah.
So let's live on.
But when I went down there, I was very disappointed, I never got a statement. And she called me and she was showing me something and I couldn't understand it. And she said, if it's written in another language. And I said to her, I don't like that. You know what I'm talking about because we are all Jamaicans. And anyway, that was the beginning. That was this straw that brought the camel's back. And I still go back, but not as often as I would. Okay. Because I still have other songs besides the two albums, Stepping and Naturally. But I still loved her. I visited her constantly, and she was like really a mother to me.
Mm-hmm. Who was your favourite artist from that era? Have you got a particular favourite artist from that era? Like I would have you and Dennis,
I loved Delroy Wilson, and I loved Phyllis Dillon.
That rock steady.
Yes. Yeah. Because there were just so few female. Hortense Ellis was there, but she was just mostly like performance, not recordings. And Patsy was with Miss Pottinger as well. Okay. Pata Pata. Yeah. And there was Doreen Schaefer.
Oh, yeah, Doreen Schaefer, yeah. Another artist from Studio One as well.
Yes, Studio One. Oh, I love her. Well, Delroy, I found Delroy to be amazing. he would never sing one song the same way twice. If he had to sing a song again, he was just a stylist. He had a talent and he just used it.
To the max. So after Sonia Pottinger, what happened then?
Well, we have gone through Lloyd Chalmers, Sonia Pottinger. I did a couple of songs with Exterminator Fatis.
Oh yeah, but that was later down though.
Yeah.
You know.
But in 1986, I started recording with Donovan Germain.
Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Nobody ever loved me like you do. Oh, yes, you do me. Oh, yes, you do. And if somebody loves me like you do me, oh, yes, you do me. Oh, yes, you
Donovan Germain from Penthouse. And believe me, that decade of the 90s, it was like a climax for me. Because that's where I did all the collabs with Barry Salmon, Buju Banton, Tony Rebel, Cutty Ranks, almost everyone.
So you know, here we got we got to touch on the Bob scenario.
No, but before that, there was just this big vacuum in the music business when Bob Marley passed. And it's like the music had no direction. Nobody knew what direction the music was taking. And everything, it was just a lull. And out of nowhere came this hardcore dance hall. And the lyrics was very negative. Most of the lyrics, very negative. And I said to Jermaine, you know a good idea? We can jump on this dancehall rhythm with nice, sweet melody and good lyrics. And that's exactly what I did. And Barris wrote some of the songs, Closer, Nanny Goat Rhythm.
Yeah, I want to be close.
Yeah, Fire Burning, you know,
I
and
Shall Sing.
Tony Rebel and myself did 2 collabs. So that's how this whole thing started, because I said, I'm not going to follow. After I see myself as someone who, a foundation person who laid the foundation, and if I have to follow, it has to be something good. And I didn't like the turn that the music took, especially in the message. And the message is, to me, is the most important thing. You know, we just put the message with the music, and that's how we come to be special people, that we can send message, teach, educate, and uplift through the 4 corners of the earth, through the medium of the music.
That whole era, the Bob Marley era, you know, the I3s, widely regarded as the best backing trio ever to come out of Jamaica, females. And then you had Bob up front and the whole excitement around that. If Bob was around today, how do you think it would be?
Well, nothing like what's happening here. It would be more... Bob was such a strong influence on the world that I have no doubt that things would have been in a more positive way, the world. Because look at the influence. It's so infectious everywhere, his music. We went to Japan for the first time, and I made a vow that I'd never go back to Japan because it's so far. But when I went back to Japan, the seeds that Bob had sown there the first time he went, I was so shocked. All those seeds were grown and blossomed and bearing so much beautiful fruits. Everyone there was so conscious. everyone started wearing dreadlocks. Well, dreadlocks now has become a big fashion. But Bob is the man who is responsible for influence everyone all over the world with his music. So the experience that I've had with Bob, I don't know if I could ever find the right words to express, what it was being with him. And I usually say to everyone that I'm thankful that I knew who he was. I'm thankful that I gave him flowers while he was alive. He didn't have to pass away for me to know that, wow, that this man was really, I knew it while I was with him. Because he was so different, unique, and it was never a coincidence how we came together to be his three little birds. I was doing some performances in New Kingston for a weekend, and for some unforeseen reason, all three of us met up at Mr. Dodd to do harmonies on a track. And he didn't tell us that this one was coming or that one was coming. We just all met there. So after we were finished, I asked Judy and Rita if they would come and do some harmonies for me at the shows, and they were very happy. So we did a quick little rehearsal, and the shows were beautiful. But the third show now, on the last night, we decided to just do a little jam session on the stage. So Sweet Inspirations was one of the popular groups in Jamaica then, that group. And we did some of those songs on stage, and the audience loved it and said, why don't you girls start a group? And everybody encouraged us because the voices just blend. And I said, yes, let us start a group and call ourselves I3s. And Rita said, I3. I said, yes, it's like saying we three, but instead of saying we three, we say I3. Another time the discussion came up about the name, and Bonnie Whaler was there, and he said, yes, and he endorsed that name. So we became the I3. But Bob, Peter, and Bonnie were having some differences at that particular time. And he heard that we formed a group and invite us to come and do Natty Dread. We went in, we did Natty Dread, number 1. And then after His Majesty passed, we went in and we did Jaliv, another number 1 song. Prior to that, Rita and myself, before we knew Judy, we did Rocket Baby. So now, after those 2 hit singles, Bob loved everything that was happening. And worse, he and his 2 brothers had a fallout. So we became his 3 little birds, and of course...
Like I said, the rest is history.
Yes.
Toured the world.
Yeah, we toured the world, and I saw this man. I don't have any doubt that this man was sent truly by the Almighty God. No doubt.
So after the passing of Bob, you was in a bit of a limbo? Was you in a bit of a limbo after
That's
passing?
what I'm telling you. There was a gulf, a lull, nothing. It was just a stillness. Nobody. It was a shock, and nobody didn't want to take up, the baton, and it was just there. And everybody is waiting and wondering what is going to happen now. And that's when I tell you this hardcore thing just came up.
Yeah, well, it was the coming of the computer age at them times there. But you was fortunate enough to, like you say, work with Donovan Germain and link up with people like Budjo and Beres and Cutty, like you said before.
Yeah.
What was it like now? Because you're an elder to people like Budjo, and they were young boys. And
he was 17
there you go.
When he came to Penthouse.
And there we've got now this young, brash Budjo and Cutty and all these people working with the First Lady.
Well, one thing I can tell you, they were all so happy to do collabs with me, It was, and then we're doing it live. It's not like I am putting my voice down and we were doing it. So we had a connection. And when I met Barry Salmon, I was sure that I knew this man in another life. Because the first time he wrote a song for me, I am saying, no way this man knows nothing about me, but every single word that he gave me to sing, I've never seen him with a pen and paper writing a song yet. But everything that he gave me to sing, I was singing my life. And I'm saying, how come he can just tell me that I know things like that? So I was convinced that, no, man, I must know this man. And the talent that I saw, from Berries, I said, my God. So being at Penthouse, the first song we did together was Live On. And then he wrote all the other songs, so many songs. Some are still on tape. But at Penthouse at that time, it was like a beautiful family affair. Just like I experienced at Studio One.
I was going to say, was it akin to Studio One?
Yes, exactly. But now with experience from Studio One and, more knowledgeable of what is happening, and then Davil came on the scene as well, and we did that song, All My Life.
Yeah.
The vibe there was just positive at Penthouse.
And I mean, even still today, you're at Penthouse.
Yeah, I am still there.
I've
Yeah.
been there several occasions, and when Marcia walks in, there's a certain aura in the place, So we can fast forward to this album that you've got out now, Timeless.
Yeah.
Which is really a tribute
to Studio One.
Um,
This is something that I've always wanted to do, because the songs that came out of Studio One, my God, that catalog is the greatest. The music is timeless. It is endless. Everything about it is just positive. It's like a pot of gold.
I mean, it's the reggae version of Motown, if we look at it that way.
That's Jamaica's Motown. Yeah.
So,
And there's no way. I just dip in the pot and took a few from what's there.
a brand new album from Marcia. If you haven't got it, I want to know why you haven't got it, because we've been beating it, and it's just a very serious album. So 15 songs now, some of them on there you would say, yeah, I would record them. But how do you choose 15 songs from millions of songs from Studio One? How long did that process take?
Not very long to choose. It was hard. It was really, really hard. Because we still have songs on tape.
Oh, so we can have a part 2?
Yeah, because it was so hard to decide what to do finally. Because so many songs, I could never finish what's there. If all of us in here did an album from Studio One, we never have to double on nothing.
Yeah. Well, when I first heard the album, I gravitated straight to Rocksteady, which was, there was just something very special about that one. And then I was speaking to Jermaine, and he said, no, man, I haven't listened to My Guiding Star.
That's his favorite song.
And the way you sing that song, there's a lot of feeling in that song.
The message, I was always so thrilled to know that even then, that is the reason why I'm telling you that these brothers that really went in the studio and laid down these tracks, it's coming from their hearts. It's pain. It's from their soul. It's sufferation. It's love. It's honesty. It's purity. The message was always there. Is we not listening?
My Guiding Star. And Jackie Opel's Cry Me a River.
Oh, Lord. Daddy Ernie, I have never known one little man so powerful.
And yet he's not really mentioned a lot.
No.
In the reggae world.
Boy, that man was a powerful singer. And he's short, but he's a powerhouse. He's a powerhouse.
Have you got a favourite track on the album, Mas?
No.
I know you like all of them, but is there one?
No, but I don't think I have a favourite. I love Crimea River, and I love Ken Booth's home.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love all of them because I know every singer personally. And I know how much they put in, how much they invest in everything that they did. You know, so I just want them to, all of us, to be rewarded.
Yeah, because you know we hear a lot of stories about them days there, but like you say, you know, you just wanted to sing. So monetary
at the time, but the fact that these songs will live forever and they're always being played and they're always selling, we are wondering who should answer to us.
Yeah.
Even today.
Well,
because there's no compensation, there's no reward.
Well, somebody must be collecting somewhere, so I'll leave that to you.
I don't know.
I'll leave that to you to find out.
Yeah, well, you know, I have to find somebody that's much more knowledgeable than myself too.
So, you know, when you started out, did you ever think 2019 you'd be in such demand over 5 decades?
Yep, I had no vision, no idea that I would have been here 55 years. And I was told, but I know still, I just don't say these things, that there's not another woman in the business that has lasted, you know, as long as myself.
We ain't even got to talk about that much because the name Marcia Griffiths alone, you know that there ain't no other female that's lasted that long.
You know, I don't even know how I managed to do it. I don't have a clue. All I know is that I'm thankful that the business is no more male dominated. And the only thing I'll say with my own mouth is that to hear the younger female admits in interviews that I was their inspiration and their role model, it's enough for me to know that I've inspired all these younger female.
Because we've got quite a few females coming up now. What do you think about that movement? There's a female movement now with the likes of Itana.
I love it. It's great. We have everything now. We have a little spice, we have a little coffee, we have a little nutmeg, we have everything.
And the topping is the Marcia Griffiths.
Well, I am well, they usually call me the mother.
Yes.
So it's not in any negative way because I feel proud to know that I can still stand there and go on stage and perform with all of these young 4th generation.
Yeah.
You know what happened to me where was I? I was knocked out when I saw myself on stage performing with the 3rd generation who is Skip Marley.
Oh.
My little grandnephew, because my nephew's son. And I am saying I am the same person who was here with his father. I was here with his sons, Ziggy, Steve, Damien, all of them on stage as well. Now I'm here with the 3rd generation. Yeah. So when I look, I said, I remember when I was up there with Bob, Steve and Ziggy used to come up there and knot up, you know, but sometimes we can't even dance because them up there doing them little thing and because it was in them from that age. And now I am looking, I am saying, my God, these little babies that used to dance up there with their father have their kids now. Look at Damien's son. That boy is amazing. Elijah.
Yeah. And you can perform with them and hold your own.
Well, Skip and myself perform together. And that is what knocked me out. And I said, boy, I just close my eyes and I give God thanks for preserving me that I can be still here sharing stage with all this generation here. It is
special.
Really, really special.
So, are we going to get a part two to this? What's the plan? Well, you know, because I've got a feeling that this has moved you on to another era now. It's another 10 years minimum.
Yes. Well, we have so many. Donovan will tell you. We have so many tracks on tape. And we even have collabs. Well, up to date, I have 50 collaborations with 50 different artists.
Okay.
From U-Roy to Romy and Virgo.
Okay. Yeah.
We have so many tracks that is sitting on tape.
So we can look out for part two of Timeless.
Yes.
And the name of the album is very apt as well, Timeless, because, you know, your career seems to be timeless. And before we wrap up, you know, that Budger show in Kingston, Jamaica, earlier on in March, you know, when you came out on stage, that was, for us who was there, it kind of brought tears to our eyes, because the embrace that you and Budger had, it was special. It was like a mother saying, welcome home.
I never thought it was so visual to people, because everyone was saying that he just seemed like he just got so comfortable when I went out there, because I've known him since he was 17. And every time he talks about me or he introduces me on stage, he would always give the story of what I always do to him or do for him as a mother figure. And that's how he sees me, and I'm happy that at least someone listened to me, because he always remembers that I said to him, remember, be careful of your utterance, because they will come back to haunt you in your music. And he never forget what I said to him. And even while he was away, I would send good positive message to him every day. I said, Mark, remember to read your Bible. Remember to pray. I love you. I just always have to find something good to strengthen him. And he never forget it.
Yeah, I could. You know, I was watching and I thought, boy, that was an embrace. That was just special.
I went on stage with him in Belgium the other night.
Reggae Gel.
Yeah, and I have never seen Buju as happy as I saw him when I went out there. He just got carried away. He had me running up and down, back and forth. He was just so happy, like a kid. You know, a kid sees his mother and he's just so happy. I see myself as a mother of all creation, not just my 3 boys that I gave birth to. I see myself as a mother.
Well, for our generation, definitely, you know, we see you as the mother of mothers, you know, and it's always a pleasure talking to you, Marcia.
Same here,
you know,
Daddy Ernie.
We've been buck up all over the world, and I've had the privilege of bringing you on stage many times, and we've had some serious reasoning in Jamaica and phone calls, and you know, it's for me, you know, to know that I can actually call Marcia Griffiths.
We make sure you have the copies first.
Yes.
And you know what I love about you, Daddy Ernie? You always keep the fire burning.
Another hit song.
Yeah.
Keep the fire burning. Marcia, it's a pleasure having you on ViewNowTV.com. And the album, Timeless, is what it says, timeless. You just got to go out and get this album, because in years to come, it's going to be like Sweet Bit of Love.
Yeah.
It's going to be like Naturally. It's going to be like Stepping and all those other albums. So go out and
Thank
get
you.
this album, Timeless. It's a new album from Marcia Griffiths. She's my special guest on Reggae Chat. Can you leave us with a special message for your fans here, not only in England, because all over the world they'll see this?
Well, the one thing that I always try to pass on is to remember that we are here to teach, educate, and uplift. And I beseech to each and everyone to remember to listen to the messages in the music. That is where everything is. We want to just unite the world through the medium of music. And don't forget that Marcia Griffiths loves you, and I shall sing as long as I live. Keep the fire burning. And Studio One, truly, I love you truly. Truly, I love you truly. And I mean it from my heart. I love you. All over the world, the four corners of the earth, Marcia Griffiths loves you. Much love and blessing.
Reggae Chat. You get that?
I'm going to Vegas to talk to you. I'm going to say right now you're tuning into Reggae Chat on View Now TV. You don't want to miss this.
I mean, say this a protege, a reggae chat away, you say, View Now TV, no delay, check it.